weiter geht's hier im Stream mit Mr. Eklund or Phil.
Thank you, Hunter.
Und wir haben hier wirklich interessante Sachen. Wir haben vor allem BIOS Genesis hier. Ein Spiel, das ich wirklich heiß erwarte, seit ich drüber gelesen habe. Ich bin jetzt tatsächlich auch etwas erstaunt, dass es eine kleine Schachtel ist. Das ist ja schon mal interessant. We will talk in English now because Phil's German is a little rusty, as he's
Ein
put it.
bisschen.
So, BIOS Genesis, really interesting game from the thematic. I'm a little bit. It's interesting that it's only small. Because
I've
it
been
seems
going-
so big as a topic, and I heard you worked like some years on it.
Yes, many years of failed attempts to get this game because I really, really wanted to have a game about the origins of life on Earth, and but all the attempts were failures, and they involved a lot of ristage, as you can imagine, rolling a lot of die, and then if you didn't get what you needed, and it was.
Okay.
Yeah, and there was also the question of what would the players represent? I
Yes.
mean, you're starting with
nothing, you know?
with nothing basically, ingredients in the organic soup, and then should it be a cooperative spiel? Should they cooperate to create
Make
life?
this happen, you know, anything happen.
Or should it be competitive? So I did all of those.
I see.
So there's different options for all kinds of different plays in this.
So
And,
what you came up with in the end?
So in the end, you can play it either cooperatively or competitively.
Okay. You
And,
didn't decide. You just did both.
I did both. No, yes, I avoid decisions that way, Hunter. And so the idea is that there are, I believe, 4 properties of life. And so that means there's up to 4 players in the game, each for a property of life.
Okay.
2 of the most famous properties are metabolism and replication or reproduction. These are represented
Ein
today.
Metabolism, I have to translate it so, das ist also Stoffwechsel.
Stoffwechsel.
Ja,
That
und,
is more descriptive actually in German than it is in English.
Stoffwechsel und Reproduktion, also quasi Fortpflanzung. Ja. Und was sind die anderen beiden? The other two?
The other 2, one is energy management or entropy.
Okay. Ja, also Energiehaushalt. Weiß jetzt nicht genau, was das auf
It's like pigments, the green color of certain things or how they absorb energy from sun and then
okay.
controlled release. So that's player green in the game.
Okay.
And
Ja, gerne. Yep. Okay, we see some details. The green player is entropy.
yes,
Metabolism is red.
yes,
So Stoffwechsel is rot.
Stoffwechsel.
And what do you have?
Blue
is
is
reproduction. I think.
yes.
Yeah, that's quite the heredity. So the genes, in a way.
And the genes.
Yeah.
Of course, we're starting without genes. This is even pre-genes. So,
Pre-genes,
but
okay.
any template could be used for replication, and that could be a crystal or something. But eventually, you're going to have to get to DNA or RNA or something like that.
Otherwise, you won't make it.
Otherwise, you won't make it. But it is possible to have life without replication if it's immortal or if it's has these hypercycles and the like. It's not an absolutely essential.
You don't have to have sex.
You don't have to have sex. Now, if you're a geek, then you already know this. The last player is cellularization, how to make a cell,
okay.
the cell walls, the fats and lipids that held everything together and separate life from non-life. And this is also an essential part of the game. And they all have their own little quirks and attributes.
So that I understood, it's like in the cooperative game, each player represents one of these concepts of life
Yes.
or whatever, and
but also a chemical.
Yes.
The,
And they
the
have to
green
kind
is from pigments. The blue is from RNA, DNA, PNA. The
Okay.
reds are amino acids, and then the yellows are like fatty lipids for the cell walls.
Okay, and so and you have to work together to make that kind of life possible.
Make life, yes.
And in a non-cooperative game, you kind of but you can't kind of.
Yeah. Well, in a non-cooperative game, especially, there are these things called viruses and or actually parasites, and every player has their own breed of parasite.
So that's
if
a little more
pure replication, then that's a virus. If it's pure metabolism, that's a prion. If it's pure,
So probably we concentrate first on the cooperative side because this seems to be already on top. So on the cooperative side, so these 4 aspects. So what will you do? What do you do in this game?
Okay, so you have what are called these refugia. These are places in the very early Earth. There's 3 eras. In the Hadean Earth is when, it was still just formed and the oceans are lava.
Okay.
And you have these various places where life could have formed.
Okay.
Like the radioactive beach, for instance.
That would be kind of radioactive man would have been formed here.
Yes,
or some
radioactive man. It could be in the ocean or on the coast or on a continent or in space.
Okay. And here what we do, we kind of.
Okay, so each of the 4 players.
Just make an example here. Yes.
Yeah, here's an example. Now these are soup ingredients that are already there, and if you want to try to create life here, you can start putting your genes here to try to make it easier. You put your biont. This is player green is attempting to occupy this and trying to organize all these ingredients. Right now they're on the disorganized mana side. He wants to try to get them to come up here. And maybe player red has the same idea, and he will also be attempting to create life here. And maybe they're cooperating, maybe they're competing. So for every element here, you roll 1 dice.
Okay. And
you try, you try to get a 1, 2, or 3 in this particular area.
This is here, okay.
Yes.
And then if you get the, okay.
So in this particular instance, you had 3, you had 2 3s, so you have 2 successes, so these become organized.
Okay. So you organize your stuff, and then what you get for this?
Now you also roll doubles here.
Okay.
Doubles mean that you're able to actually create life. May not last very long.
Okay, and then you flip it, and on the other side you have kind of the cell.
Bacteria, a protocell sort of thing.
Some of early life, you know?
Yes, and the more stuff it has in it, the better chance it has of actually surviving all the catastrophes and things. Now, oftentimes it'll die out, but it may generate enough enzymes, we'll call these enzymes, for you to create life somewhere else if this is doomed.
Okay.
But
I
actually
see.
In this example, it's a really strong creature. Normally you wouldn't have such a powerful...
I'm totally into this game right now because I'm really fascinated with this heavy science stuff. I mean, is it actually legit, or did you kind of? This is high science in a way.
There are some controversial, Hunter. There's some controversial theories in here, especially what I already told you about life without replication. A lot of scientists will say that's not possible, or they'll say replication first, RNA world first.
Well, that's your kind of...
Yeah, but I follow the idea that replication was a later development, and that all 4 players could evolve independently until they got together to create a very powerful life.
Yeah.
And eventually in the game you can get to seaweed, flatworms.
You can really kind of evolve into something that is visible.
Into something visible, tangible, that you can drop on your foot or
really
something.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we are running out of time.
Okay.
But I think this is a game for really people who are into this thematically, because there's some foreign words you have to understand or look up or whatever. Yeah. If you don't like that, it's not the right game probably.
It's not the right game. It's for geeks. But I'll say this: it's unexpectedly popular. We're going to sell out at Essen, and
Okay,
probably we've already sold out the first edition, or
So,
at
yes,
least.
where can you buy it and how much? And then we have to move on, unfortunately.
Okay, well, we're at my booth here, or you can go to Sierra
booth?
Madre Game. Booth is Hall 30103.
Also 3O103.
Und auch meine Website www.sierra-madre-games.eu.
Okay, Sierra, okay, ja, das kriegt man raus. Ich denke, und noch ganz kurz, wie teuer es ist. Leider können wir nicht mehr darüber so viel. Genau, wie teuer ist noch kurz da? Wie teuer? How much?
30 euros
30
at my
euros.
booth.
Okay.
I think 32 on my site.
Ganz kurz, very short, what is this? This is kind of a...
Ja, this is my andere neue Spiel für die Jahr, PAX Renaissance, ist das dritte in der PAX Series und es hat zu tun mit dem Anfang der modernen Welt, the beginning of modern society, and what did it take to make the modern world? So we have.
It's also a small but kind of deep strategy game. In the first look, we have a lot of figurines. And what is systematically? You are Renaissance
bankers.
Bankers.
Yes.
Renaissance bankers.
So you're manipulating or trying
we
to
do
control.
some details very shortly. Can you see it? Just get a. You have also here. I see that. Thematically, definitely
These
Renaissance.
are the victories. Yes, the various victories. These are the various cards that you can manipulate in the game to. It's quite heavily
nice
based on
artwork,
Pax
definitely.
Premier, if you're familiar with that game.
Yeah. Very interesting, very interesting. Unfortunately, we're running out of time, but I was very fascinated by Bios Genesis. Thank you very much.
Well, danke für die Möglichkeit, Jager or Hunter.
Yes, Hunter, yes. Jager is actually my last name, so Hunter is my nickname, so yes.
I see.
So, wir machen eine ganz kurze Pause und dann geht es weiter mit Flamme Rouge, das Radfahrerspiel. Ja, vielen Dank, Phil, und kurze Pause.